Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome again to Ask the Planners 30 Days to Us live video series. Welcome to to our series today. Welcome to all the live viewers and also welcome to all the replay viewers. Welcome. Thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit about how to plan your wedding in 30 days. This is for brides or brides-to-be who want to know how to plan their wedding, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, you have 2 years. It's all the same checklist, and I'm here to show you how that can be done. So what we are doing here for the next 30 days until 10/5, we're going to show you how you can plan your wedding for the next 30 days, well, actually the next 27 or so, 26 days actually. All the steps that it takes to plan your wedding, from the day that you said I do until the day that you have to send all those thank you notes to all those nice people who gave you gifts. So we'll step you through that using our fictitious bride and groom, Aaliyah and Michael. So if you were with us yesterday, you would have learned how to create your budget or set your budget. First step. So we went over a few details, dug a little deeper, and talked about what it takes and why you need to set up a budget and what are the 5 major costs of a wedding. The 5 items that we discussed yesterday were venue, catering, you have to feed them, right? The decorations, your dress, and the third one that I skipped over is your photographer. You want to make sure you have memories. So if you missed that from yesterday, we do have the replay available on the site, on our in our group. So you can always go back and look at that replay from yesterday, which was day 3. Okay. So today what we're going to do is talk about get a little bit deeper, because first day we said that first 3 things you need to do is set the budget, find a location, and send out those save dates, because you're getting married in 30 days. Okay? Hi, Sean. Thanks for joining. So, what we're doing this week is dug a little deeper yesterday and talked about the budget. And today we're going to talk about how to find that venue or your location for your ceremony and reception. And particularly, we're going to focus on the reception. Tomorrow, we'll talk about and dig a little deeper into how to select save dates, online save dates, because we're getting married in 30 days, so you don't have time to send them out. Why worry and stress yourself out about mailing them out? We're going to show you tomorrow how to select a great online invitation company that will help you with that. Okay? So, today, what we're focusing on is how to select the location and specifically the reception. Typically, people get married in churches, so you don't, in that church that or that religious establishment that you're going to get married in is someplace that you attend, you or the groom. You or the groom, or someone in the family attends. So there isn't a lot of thought that has to take place when it comes to figuring out where you're going to have the ceremony. But if you don't have a religious establishment that you attend, or your parents or grandparents attend, then you'll have to find a place where you can have the ceremony and the reception. So these are some of the things that you would talk through and consider in finding your location. So we're going to focus on the reception, and we're going to, in this scenario, Aaliyah and Mike they actually found a venue already, but we're going to go through the steps that they took to actually find that venue. Remember, the venue is, for those who were here the last few days, was the Moshulu, which is a ship in the harbor of Philly. It's sitting in the Philly harbor. Okay? So before they found that location, they had to think through some things. And there were 3 things that they had to consider. They first had to come up with a date or 2, a backup date, just in case they found a great venue and that date was gone. So you need to always have a backup date. The second thing they had to consider was, okay, what will the colors be? And thirdly, the theme or style. Because in thinking about your theme or style, hi Jazz, how are you? In thinking about the theme or style, that will play a role in which venue you consider. Okay, we actually have a bride that has a medieval theme, and she's looking for a castle. So that would be the perfect location for her. She's looking for a mansion or a venue that has a castle, a very Greek type appearance that will fit in with her theme. So again, these are some of the things you have to talk through in reference to what your theme or style will be, so that you can focus on venues that will fit that theme or style. I talked to some brides, and some of them haven't even considered, or they don't really think that they have a theme. They know they want certain colors, so that's the first thing that they come up with. And the style they really don't think about. They just think about, they may think about things they do or they do and do not want. So, for example, whether they want flowers or not, whether they want draping up in the ceiling or along the walls to cover up the walls, things like that. And sometimes that doesn't entail having either a theme or a style. The other thing to consider before you start looking for your reception venue is the thing to consider is, okay, we talked about the colors. So Michael and Aaliyah, they came up with the colors. It's kind of since it's in the fall, October 5th, which is 30 days from when we started, then their colors are kind of a coral and a cream with a hint of violet. Okay, not violet, but a deep dark purple. So that's their color scheme. They really didn't have a theme, but they do have a certain style. So in coming up with where you should have your wedding, that's the other thing to consider, is the style of the bride and groom. Aaliyah and Michael are kind of they're kind of techy. They're millennials. Okay, techy. They're millennials. They're very green and eco-friendly. Aaliyah has kind of a boho style, very easygoing, flowy, not conservative. So that's why she didn't want a traditional wedding. She wanted a unique venue, something that stood out from the cookie cutter ballrooms and halls type environments that typically are where weddings are held. So that's why they decided on the Mushalu. But anyway, let me go back to the style. So I'm thinking about Aaliyah's style. Michael's kind of the same way. Then that's why, based on that, they decided on the Moshulu. But let me show you something that you can consider when you're trying to figure out what is your style. Okay? When I say what is your style, there's several categories that you might fit into. So what I'm going to do, I'm the showy type of person. I like you to see things and visualize what I'm talking about instead of just talking at you. So I'm getting ready to show you something in just a second. We're going to switch right over so I can show you different styles as it relates to bride types. Okay? So you have something here that shows you 5 different bride types. You'll go out on the internet and they'll show you, you'll get a ton of information that tries to categorize you or try to fit you into one of these particular styles. And you can, by looking at this, you'll be able to tell pretty much where you fit in. So are you a traditional bride? Okay, traditional bride means you want a ball gown, you want the sweetheart top there as far as your gown is concerned, the long veil, the typical bouquet, not anything that's hanging or flowy or green. You're traditional. You want to have maybe your mother's type wedding. You want all the standard features of a wedding, okay? You're not the out-of-the-box type of bride. And if that's you, you may be the traditional bride, okay? Some people call those types of princess bride. The other type of bride is a DIY bride. You're very hands-on. Maybe you want to make your dress, the centerpieces. You want to add your personality to the wedding. Some people who are DIY brides are vintage brides, meaning they like the 60s kind of look, how women dressed then as far as the gown and the groom's suit is concerned. So DIY just means you like to put your hands on everything, is from the ceremony to the reception, as far as giving it that personal touch, okay? So you make a lot of things. You may make the centerpieces, the boutonnieres, the bouquets, because you're a crafty type person, okay? And it also saves money. So that's the DIY bride, all right? And then there's the Boho Bride. This is the bride that I love, that we love. We like all bride types, but we like this style as well. A lot. So Boho Bride is someone who's with, they're very Mother Nature type. They're a Mother Nature type. They're into being green and eco-friendly. They're outdoorsy. They might want their wedding outdoors, not indoors. If they could have it at the beach, they would. That's a Boho Bride. Now, Aaliyah she's boho, but she's boho chic, okay? She's boho with a little twist. She wants the modern necessities, or the modern side of the look and feel of a lot of weddings, like the copper, and that's the new trend now, and the cascading bouquet, those kinds of things. But she also is a very down-to-earth Mother Nature type. So it's a little bit of both. She likes things that are flowy and not ultra-conservative as far as her dress is concerned. So Aaliyah would fit into this category. She's a modern boho chic bride, okay? And then there's a Techy Bride. She's all about what's the latest and the greatest. So she wants to have a wedding hashtag, so that when people talk about her wedding, they are using the hashtag, so she can follow all the conversations and all the pics at every different event that she has leading up to her wedding. She has a photographer that comes in with the modern photo booth, where people will actually take pictures that they can automatically upload to the internet, okay, and they can tweet and post it to Facebook. So she's about any technology that will allow her to use the latest and greatest devices, her iPad, her iPhone, etc. Okay, she wants the app that will gather all the pictures, so that at the end of the wedding, she'll have all the pictures that not only that she took, but that her guests took. So that's the Techy Bride. And then lastly, you have the Glam Bride. This bride is typically over the top. She wants bling, and she wants it everywhere. She wants it dripping, okay? So she wants to see gold and some platinum, and she wants the Swarovski crystals just everywhere. And it's all about the bling with her. So, and this bride sometimes can be considered a high maintenance bride. Okay, so, and usually conservative, on the conservative side, like the traditional bride. So what you would do is just try to figure out, based on this style, which bride are you? And then based on that, you try to find a site that is fitting, that matches your style. Okay, if you're a boho bride, then you may not want to have a traditional ballroom with chandeliers everywhere. That may not fit your style. So something to consider. So those are the things that you would consider before you actually go and start searching for your site. What your style is, the theme, If you're a theme type person, meaning you want a Cinderella theme, you want a Disney World theme, you want all pink everywhere, Star Wars. There's so many different themes out there, and everything could be centered around that. Otherwise, you can just center your wedding around colors and the style, your groom's style. Okay, so that's how you consider some of the things you consider before you actually go and start looking at sites. So when you go start looking at sites, you want to pick at least 3 different sites. Okay, and some of the questions you might want to ask the site once you pick 3. You want to look at the sites and see if it fits your style, and then you want to call and see if your date is available. No sense in making a site visit if you call and they tell you, oh, that date's taken. Okay, especially we're doing this 30 days out, so we want to make sure that we're able to utilize the venue, not waste time going to visit when it's not available. So check to see if they either who has your date. And as soon as you find out they have your date available, go out for a site visit and ask really good questions. Do your research before you go out. You want to ask questions such as, do you provide catering? Is catering included in the price? If you do provide catering, is alcohol included in the price? If not, what's the add-on for that? Or can you have it on the premises? So you'll know whether you will have to utilize them for alcohol or the catering, food, or you have to find outside vendors for that. Okay. The other questions that you would ask the site, Leah and Michael chose Mashulu, and when they went out there, they had to ask questions like, do you provide linens, chairs, the actual dinnerware and flatware? Do you provide all those things as a package, as a basic package? So once those questions were answered, then they had to make decisions on if they actually provided that. Then they had to decide that they want what they offer. Typically, if the site provides the linens and the chairs and the dinnerware and flatware, it's going to be a standard cream china, cream colored china or white china, cream. It's either cream or white linens, and then your standard buffet chairs, okay, with the round backs. You know, the burgundy ones that you typically see when you go to a ballroom or you go to a business meeting. Those are the type of chairs that they typically have. Nothing fancy. So typically what happens if they have that, and you don't have to get an outside vendor to rent those items from. Some places will allow you to upgrade to, say, Chabari chairs or the clear chairs. Okay, so those are some questions to ask, and then make sure you ask about costs as far as detailed questions about the cost. The reason why I mentioned that, and I'm going to switch over to our Mashulu wedding package, which they'll give you a big, nice folder email with that gives all the information about what they have to offer. But some places have some fees or costs that you may not consider, such as Mashulu. They tell you right up front that the price doesn't include the 8% PA sales tax. It doesn't include the liquor tax, and it also tells you that they take checks, which I find that hard to believe. I thought most people were like in a cashless type environment, but they only take checks, and if you use your credit card, they're going to charge you 3% every time you make a payment. So when you make that down payment, based on the decision you make as far as the package you consider, when you make those other payments that are coming in the future, you're going to have to pay 3% if you're using your credit card, which is what most people do. So these are some costs or things to consider and questions to ask when you go to those particular sites that you've decided on for the site visit. Okay, and then one thing, some real simple questions to ask, and a lot of this is in the brochure, the information package that they give you. They won't allow you, some places won't allow you to use different items to throw at the bride when they leave, such as rice, because the birds pick it up, things like that. Or items that will mess up their wooden floors if they have wood floors or parquet floors. So these are things to consider, and these are things that you need to ask. Can I decorate the facility, and how can I decorate? What are some of the things that you allow or don't allow? So those are some of the major items that you can consider, and that Aaliyah and Michael considered before they decided on Moshulu as their venue for both their ceremony and for their reception. Okay, so read the package thoroughly. Make sure you are aware of all the hidden costs. And as I mentioned yesterday, sometimes when it comes to making the payments, that final payment, of course they want the deposit to hold the date, but when you make that final payment, that's usually a week out, which is what Moshulu is saying here. They need that final payment 7 days out, because they want to make sure they get paid before your wedding gets close to your wedding. Okay, so some is a week out, for some it might be a month out, so it just depends on the vendor. But of course, you have any questions as it relates to the site that you visit, then you always have a coordinator there that you can reach at any time and get those questions answered before you fill out the contract. Okay, so once you finalize and you pick a vendor, as Aaliyah and Mike have done, they'll open up the aisle planner. We've been talking about this. This is our tool that we use to manage all of our information for our wedding from beginning to end. They'll go to the contacts tab, and they already have, I think we've already done it. Yes. So they'll go to Moshulu is their contact here for the ceremony and reception, and they'll update it with any payments and any information as it relates to the contract. Once they sign it, they can attach it. So again, use Aisle Planner to keep track of all those conversations, because there's even a notes section where you can add any information, such as questions you may have asked and got answers to, etc. There are attachments that you can add to the contacts, such as the contracts that they send to you, and they usually send it via email. Okay, so always, when you're talking to the vendors, always come back. Whatever they give you, you take that information and you enter it in Aisle Planner, so you can keep track of conversations, your contracts, your deposits, everything from that as it relates to dealing with these vendors. Okay, and in this example or scenario, in dealing with deciding on a site for your wedding. Okay, tomorrow we will talk about, dig a little deeper and talk about how to select an online invitation company to actually send out very quickly, just a click of a button, send out all your save dates if you decide to use those, and invitations. Aaliyah and Mike are going to send save dates because they want to make sure people are available. You can do that in a day. All you need is their email address. Of course, it'll take you probably a few days to get some of those, but in this day and age, you should have most of that information. So it won't take long to send those out. So we'll dig deep, and we'll talk about that tomorrow at 7:30. So thank you for showing up and taking time out of your day, your evening, to learn a little bit more about how to plan your wedding in 30 days. See you tomorrow. Bye.